Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Which midfielder should Manchester United sign? There's been quite a few midfielders on our agenda. Now, Saul Niguez, we've got a chance of signing him. Like I said to you earlier on today though, we've been dealt a blow in our pursuit of Saul Niguez, because reports from Spain have said that Saul Niguez favours a move to Barcelona. Not so long ago, Barcelona were in talks with Atletico Madrid over a swap deal involving Antoine Griezmann and Saul Niguez. The representatives of Saul Niguez were due in England this week for talks with Manchester United and Liverpool. It says Man United and Liverpool are gonna table offers. Man United and Liverpool have both been notified that £43 million will be enough. It actually said Atletico Madrid want between 35 million to 40 million for Niguez. We've identified Saul Niguez as a potential replacement for Paul Pogba. Niguez has a gentleman's agreement in place with Atletico Madrid. Saul Niguez has a 128 million release clause. He's been a long-serving player at Atletico Madrid. He's been with them since 2008, so he's been with them now for a good 13 years or so. Risen up their academy. He's got a contract with Atletico Madrid until 2026, because back in 2017 he signed a 9-year contract. He can be deployed as a central midfielder or a defensive midfielder. But yeah, I think Man United should sign Niguez, because I think if he comes to the Premier League he will exceed expectations and he will fit in our team perfectly. We've also been linked with Eduardo Camavinga from Rennes. I think Man United should also sign him. You know, he'd be a good potential replacement for Pogba. Fabrizio Romano recently said that Man United had direct contact with Eduardo Camavinga. Romano also mentioned that Man United love Camavinga and were interested in him. We'd recently been dealt a blow though in our pursuit of Camavinga. He said he wants to make a move to PSG. And it also said not so long ago that Camavinga's preference is a move to Spain over Man United. Rennes are prepared to sell Camavinga for around £30 million. His current contract at Rennes expires next year. I think he'd do really well in the Premier League, and he's still very young. He's got a lot of development in him. Ruben Neves, I'd take him at Manchester United. The reasons is because he's still young, got a lot of development in him. Plus Ruben Neves is proven in the Premier League. And if he came to Manchester United, I'd be convinced that he'd replicate what he's done at Wolves, because his performances for Wolves have been fantastic. But I'm very sceptical that we're going to get Ruben Neves, because Ruben Neves recently said he's made a decision on his future. He's called any talk of an exit away. He insists that he's happy working alongside new Wolves boss Bruno Lage. But it did say that Wolves are ready to sell Ruben Neves. They will accept around £35 million. It actually said Man United were leading Arsenal in the race to sign Neves. Ruben Neves has been at Wolves for 3 seasons. He's made 151 appearances in the Premier League. Wolves got Ruben Neves from Porto back in 2017. They paid £15.8 million. He's got a contract with Wolves until 2024. Wolves are aware of how much of an imperative player he is. Wolves lost Diego Jota last year to Liverpool, and Wolves have really struggled without him. They also lost Matt Doherty to Tottenham. Declan Rice, Man United have also been in for him. I think we should sign Declan Rice, but I don't think we're going to now, because it recently said Man United are going to be giving up on Declan Rice. Leon Goretzka, I'm not too sure whether we should sign him. I've heard that he's a good player, don't really watch much of the Bundesliga. Sport Bild said the other week that Man United submitted a contract offer to sign Leon Goretzka on a free transfer in the summer of 2022, which is next year. So, there you go. Which midfielder do you think Manchester United should sign? Now, you know the news on Kieran Trippier from Atletico Madrid. Sky Sports have come out and said that Atletico Madrid want €40 million for Trippier. Kieran Trippier expects any Man United move to materialise towards the end of the window. Trippier arranged for his family to relocate back to Manchester. Man United already have a Kieran Trippier transfer agreement. Fabrizio Romano recently come out and said that the situation with Kieran Trippier is still very quiet. He says Man United are looking to sort out Diego Dalot's future, but Trippier is pushing for a move to Man United. We've already had 2 offers rejected for him. Not so long ago, he said Atletico Madrid won't sell Kieran Trippier to Man United. Just before that though, Neil Custis from The Sun came out and said that Man United were close to signing Trippier for £18 million. But it would be beneficial if we could recommend him in, because Trippier is a right back and he would provide competition for Bissaka. Bissaka's the only recognised senior right back at Man United at the moment. He's highly experienced as well as Trippier, and he's proven in the Premier League. Atletico Madrid paid £20 million in from Tottenham back in 2019, and his current contract at Atletico Madrid expires next year. Do you think Man United have got any chance of signing Harry Kane? Harry Kane has failed to show up for pre-season training again. It said yesterday that Harry Kane failed to show up at Tottenham's training ground. Harry Kane has said his goodbyes to his Tottenham teammates and the staff at the club. Tottenham have no intentions of selling Kane this summer, and they've come out and said that they won't sell him to a Premier League club. Manchester United plan to make a move for Harry Kane next summer if he stays at Tottenham for now. Now, earlier on this year, it actually said Man United were in pole position to sign Harry Kane. It said Tottenham wanted £100 million plus 2 of our players as part of the deal for Kane. To be honest with you, I think Kane will probably end up going to Man City. It said Man City were preparing a £160 million bid. I think Man City are willing to offer around 130 million for him now. Pep Guardiola came out and said that the deal for Kane is impossible. Chelsea, I think, are putting a bid in for him. Back in May, Harry Kane put a transfer request in at Tottenham. Back in April, which was towards the end of last season, Kane came out and said that he wants to win team trophies. You know, he hasn't been experiencing this at Tottenham. Kane has remained loyal to Tottenham for a long time. He's been at Tottenham for 17 years. You know, he's been in their senior squad since 2009. He's got a contract with Tottenham until 2024, and he receives £200,000 a week. Kane won the Golden Boot with Tottenham last season. He's had loan spells before with Leyton Orient, Millwall, Norwich and Leicester. Man United actually need a striker because after next season, I presume Edison Cavani will be leaving. Kane is regarded as one of the best strikers in the world because he is a prolific goal scorer. And of course he's proven in the Premier League, which is beneficial. We have done business with Tottenham before. We got Michael Carrick off them a lot of years ago, and we also got Dimitar Berbatov off them. You know, if Tottenham do let Kane go, you know, they're going to have to find a very good, adequate replacement. Tottenham struggled last season with Kane there, so imagine what they're going to be like without Harry Kane. Tottenham's new boss is obviously Nuno Santo, former Wolves manager, because they did sack Jose Mourinho towards the end of last season. I reckon though Man United are going to make at least one more signing in this summer transfer window. Solskjaer did confirm not so long ago that Man United will make more signings. So reflecting on that, Man United are not yet finished in this summer transfer window. Solskjaer did say, didn't he, that he wanted to make around 4 signings in this summer transfer window. Ed Woodward recently sent a warning to Solskjaer saying that he's got to ship some players out to get more signings. So yeah, Man United now have to sell to buy. But Man United are enjoying a very good summer transfer window, because Solskjaer is getting the players he wants to recommend in. And it's about time Solskjaer got the backing he deserves, because he wasn't backed enough for such a long time. We have made 3 signings so far in this summer transfer window and spent almost 120 million. We brought Tom Eaton in on a free transfer from Aston Villa. We brought Jadon Sancho in from Borussia Dortmund, and we brought Rafael Varane in from Real Madrid. This summer transfer window is Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. I think Man United have got a very good squad now. Analysing the squad, I'd say it's definitely good enough to be title contenders for next season. I'm still not sure though if it's good enough to win the league yet. We'll probably need another 1 or 2 more signings, to possibly win the league in the new season. I thought the squad was decent before Varane and Sancho came in. You've got Dean Henderson, that's a very, very good goalkeeper. Dean Henderson did well in a lot of the games he was in goal for last season. Henderson's also got that experience behind him. He enjoyed 2 successful loans with Sheffield. He's also had other loan spells before. Before the start of last season, Henderson signed a 6-year contract with the club. So reflecting on that, he committed his future to Man United. Sky Sports have said that Henderson will miss the club's training camp in Scotland this week because he's recovering from coronavirus. Tom Eaton seems a decent goalkeeper. To his credit, he's done well in pre-season for us. Like I said, we got Tom Eaton on a free transfer. He signed a contract with Man United till 2023. There's an option of a further year. I think David De Gea is still a good goalkeeper, despite him making a lot of mistakes in the last couple of years. A few years ago, David De Gea was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. He's won everything domestically at the football club. He's made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. De Gea's been long-serving. He's enjoyed 10 years at Man United, so he has been with us since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. He's probably going to remain at Man United for next season, because a few weeks ago it said that De Gea decided to cut short his holiday by 2 weeks to fight for the starting place, and he's determined to fight for his future. He said after the Euros though that De Gea was set for talks with Solskjaer over his future. A few weeks ago it said that De Gea could be loaned out by Man United next season to make room in the goalkeeping department. De Gea's on £375,000 a week at Man United. But if we was to sell him in this summer transfer window or the January transfer window or even next summer, I reckon we'd get from between 40 to 50 million pounds. Luke Shaw, he's a very, very good left back. He was our best player last season, and I thought he did well for England during the tournament. Fabrizio Romano did say not so long ago that Man United are in the process of extending Luke Shaw's contract. Shaw just has under 2 years left on his current contract at Man United. Shaw still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Alex Telles. Shaw's been with us now over 7 years, and I reckon he's had a good career at the club despite his injuries. Harry Maguire, I think he's a decent centre half. There's probably aspects of his game that I've got to improve. I think now we're going to get the best out of Maguire with obviously Varane going alongside him. That's a fantastic centre-back partnership, that Varane and Harry Maguire, because they'll complement each other very well. Harry Maguire's had his good games at Man United, he's also had his bad games. He was a big miss for us towards the end of last season because he had ligament damage in his ankle. To his credit though, I thought Maguire did well during the tournament for England. We got Harry Maguire for £80 million. Raphael Varane, I think he's going to be a good player for Man United. I give you the news on Varane this morning. Man United have been handed a Varane setback. An announcement for Varane may have to wait another week because Varane is not yet in England, and the Telegraph has said that Varane is waiting for the visa to complete his move. Fabrizio Romano said last weekend that Varane is planning to fly to Manchester this week from Madrid, and he said that the medical and the deal will be done this week. Last Friday, Varane posted a farewell message to Real Madrid, and it got announced last Tuesday that Man United confirmed they'd reached an agreement with Real Madrid to sign Varane. Both clubs agreed the initial fee of 34 million rises up to 43 million with add-ons, and Varane has agreed a 4-year contract with Man United with an option of a further year. He said yesterday his shirt number could have been announced, and Varane will receive £250,000 a week at Man United. I presume Varane will be making his debut on the opening day against Leeds. Eric Bailly, he's a decent centre-half. Eric Bailly's future is now in doubt following the arrival of Raphael Varane. I still think we should keep Bailly because he's a backup. So if Varane or Harry Maguire get injured, then obviously Bailly's the plan B. My element of concern about Bailly is too injury prone. Towards the end of last season, he signed a new contract with Man United until 2024. There's an option of a further year. Bailly's been with us over 5 years now. We got him for 30 million from Villarreal back in 2016. I reckon Wan-Bissaka is a very, very good right back. Probably one of the best right backs we've had since Gary Neville. Defensively, he's always been superb. But he's got to show more attacking intent. We got Bissaka for 50 million from Palace back in the summer of 2019. Paul Pogba is a very, very decent player. He produced his best performances for Man United, I'd say, in the last couple of months of last season. But at one point last season, he was out with a thigh injury for a while. Now, like I said to you, was it yesterday? There's new doubts about Paul Pogba's future. Man United are growing increasingly concerned that Pogba will not sign a new contract. It's said that Man United must pay 15 million in wages to Pogba to sell up. Sky Sports said the other day that Pogba sees a long-term future at Manchester United but may wait on the contract extension. Now, not so long ago, Pogba rejected a new contract at Man United. The other week, it said Pogba rejected a new 50 million contract offer at Man United, so reflecting on that, he's set to leave. Sky Sports said that Pogba was increasingly unlikely to sign a new Man United contract, but Solskjaer did come out and say that Man United are still in talks with Pogba's representatives over a new contract. Pogba's current contract expires next year. Man United stars have been working hard to persuade Pogba to stay. He's been linked with a move to PSG. Mauricio Pochettino played down PSG's interest in Pogba because Pochettino got quizzed on Paul Pogba's transfer from Man United again. It does mention that PSG are the favourites to sign Pogba, and PSG have held talks with Pogba's representatives. PSG are willing to offer £45 million. Not so long ago, Pogba was discussing the personal terms with PSG. PSG want to partner Pogba alongside Wijnaldum in their midfield. Last week, Mino Raiola offered Liverpool a chance to sign Pogba this summer. Mino Raiola made Liverpool aware that Pogba could be signed this summer, but Liverpool responded and said they're not interested in getting a deal over the line this summer. They may consider going for him in January, depends on his contract situation. But Pogba's had a long-running transfer saga. He's also been linked to Real Madrid, Juventus, his former club, Barcelona and Inter Milan have been in for him before. Paul Pogba has endured 5 seasons at Man United since he rejoined. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far, and he's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. We had Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Sir Alex Ferguson era, but we had to let him go due to limited appearances. McTominay, he's a decent player. He's not yet on that level where I want him to be at. He certainly needs more time at the club. McTominay has been part of the club for a long time as it stands. Just after the first lockdown last year, McTominay signed a 5-year contract with Man United, so reflecting on that, he committed his future to the club. Bruno Fernandes, he's a good player. He's one of our best players, and he's one of the best signings we have made since Ferguson retired. In most of Bruno Fernandes' games at Man United, he's been very, very consistent, but there's also been quite a few games where he's looked off the pace, but let's be honest, we've overplayed Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes has been at the club now over a year and a half. Last season he won Player of the Year, and he's won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. Fabrizio Romano did say not so long ago that Man United are looking at a new contract for Bruno Fernandes. Said towards the end of last season we was looking to double his wages to £200,000 a week. Mason Greenwood, he's been an absolute revelation since he broke into our senior squad despite him going a long period without scoring. Greenwood made his senior debut in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7, so he's been part of the club for a long time, and last season Greenwood signed a new 4-year contract. A lot of the time Greenwood plays on the right. I do think Sancho's going to be a good player for Man United as well. We confirmed the signing of Jadon Sancho the other week. Man United agreed a £73 million fee with Borussia Dortmund for Sancho. I think there's add-ons included, so in total it's like 77 or 78 million. Sancho signed a contract with Man United until June 2026. So it's a 5-year deal, isn't it? With an option of a further year. I think Sancho could be making his debut in our final pre-season game against Everton, and obviously he'll be making his league debut against Leeds on the opening day of the Premier League season. Edison Cavani, he's made a fantastic impact since he's come in, and I'm glad he's staying for next season, but like I said, he'll leave after next season. And Rashford's good when he wants to be, but there's certainly aspects of Rashford's game that's got to improve because he's endured his bad periods. and he has become injury prone, which is a concern. Rashford is going to be out until October, by the way, because he's got a shoulder injury, but obviously decided to have surgery on his shoulder. We need to keep Rashford out on that left hand side because that's where he seems to be more effective. So there you go. Some players at Man United that are not good enough to represent the club though. You know, Lindelof isn't good enough. Matic isn't good enough. Fred's not good enough. Some people say McTominay's not good enough, but I think he needs more time, like I said earlier. Martial's not good enough. Lingard's not good enough. Delo isn't good enough either. So there you go. And as for Alex Telles and Donny van der Beek, they don't get given enough opportunities, so that's why I think we need to offload that duo. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you for today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.